Hello, good evening. I'm Coach Charles. So for tonight's session, we are going to talk about plant and animal biology. So we would be covering around 20 items and we would rationalize them and cover certain topics related to these items. First one, plants are multicellular eukaryotes with well-developed tissues. Which of the following which of the following are characteristic of plants? Letter A, plants have a life cycle that is described as alternation of generations. Letter B, plants are multicellular and have cells specialized to form tissues and organs. Letter C, plant contain chlorophylls A and B and carotenoids, store reserve foods as starch, and have cell walls made of cellulose. Or D, all of the above. So before we answer this one, let's have a quick recap of what are the characteristic of plants. Remember that plants are they are eukaryotic, ibig sabihin they contain nucleus, their genetic material are present in membrane-bound nucleus. And then we have they are multicellulars, they are made of different cells. They are producers or autotrophic and they are non-motile, ibig sabihin they do not move, they cannot walk. Where you planted them or where they are planted, they would stay there. And last but not the least, is they do have alternation of generation. So what is alternation of generation? In alternation of generation, plants can exist as a haploid or diploid. Haploid siya, ibig sabihin either sex, male or female sex gamit siya. It can be ovary or your pollen grain sa stamen ng flower. And if diploid naman siya, most likely uh, it would have the paired chromosomes. Next, our answer for this item would be the best answer would be all of the above. Kasi they have alternation of generations, they are multicellulars, they have tissues and organs, so you have the flower, stem as organs. And then we have they have chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the pigment that would capture sunlight. So it would give a green coloration for the plant. And then yung carotenoids naman, they can also capture light, but this coloration is somewhat orange or yellow in color. So yung mga yellowish or orange yung color na plant, they have a lot of carotenoids. Kapag red siya or bluish, usually anthocyanins ang reason doon. So basically, since these plants are autotrophic, they have plant pigment that would capture sunlight. Okay, so let's proceed with item number 82. Okay, so we have the two classes of flowering plants are monocots and dicots. Are monocots and dicots, or letter B, shrubs and trees, letter C, angiosperms and gymnosperms, or letter D, herbs and shrubs. Okay, so this is our first live discussion. Please do share this link so others can be reached by this discussion. Okay, so in item 82, the best answer would be letter C, angiosperm and gymnosperms. So bear in mind that plants can be classified as vascular or non-vascular. Kapag sinabi mong non-vascular plants, they can absorb their water source via osmosis. Example of this are your liver, your hornwort, okay, your moss. So they absorb via osmosis. For vascular plants, may specialized ano sila, parang specialized tissue like your xylem and phloem that can carry nutrients and water towards the parts of the plant, like for their shoot system. So for vascular plants, dalawang klase sila. They can be seed plants or seedless plants, like your fern. So pag fern, usually they can grow as frond o kaya magsusuli lang sila. But for seed plants, we have two classifications, the gymnosperms and angiosperms. Ang titingnan mo lang dito ay since they are seed producing, meron ba siyang flower na napoproduce? Hello, Miss Leia. Okay, good evening. So, ang gymnosperm, ito yung mga may naked seed. Ibig sabihin, wala silang flower, wala din silang fruit. But for angiosperms, ito naman yung mga flowering plant or seed plants na flowering. Ibig sabihin, they have flower and the ovary of that flower can become fruit. But not all flower would become fruit. Some parts of the flower, like alam di ba dapat ovary nagiging fruit? Example, yung cashew plant, okay, yung cashew. Usually, yung kinakain natin doon ay hindi yung ovary, kundi yung receptacle niya. Namamagay yung receptacle ng flower at nagiging tinatawag siyang false fruit. And then, we have mentioned monocot and dicot kasi lumalabas to sa licensure exam. So what is the difference between or what are the differences between monocot and dicot? So in the licensure exam, usually ang tinatanong dito ay examples or you would be asked alin ang characteristics ng monocot or dicot. Pag monocot, unang muna dyan ay yung cotyledon niya. If you have one cotyledon only, that is just monocot. If you have two cotyledons, that is dicot, and then you go to the root system. So kapag root system ay fibrous, that is monocot. Kapag ang root system niya ay taproot, that is dicot. To remember it, just remember that in fibrous term, there's only one O. And in taproot term, there are two O's. At malalaman mo, monocot, so fibrous, isa lang yung O. Taproot, ibig sabihin, sa dicot siya makikita. And if you would see veins in the leaves of the plants, parallel yung veins niya, hindi siya nag-uugat. Unlike the leaf of the dicotyledon plants, netted siya or web-like yung itsura niya. And then for their vascular bundles, scattered siya monocot. And then for dicot naman, they are what? Okay? They are arranged into form kapag dicot. And then, okay, welcome Kisha. Okay? Uh, For the flower naman, ang titignan natin dyan, if sets of three siya, that is monocot. Kapag set of four or five siya, is dicot. Okay? So, next, let's proceed with item number 83. Which of the following is an example of a flowering plant? So we have discussed the difference between gymnosperms and angiosperms. So titingnan na lang natin, alin ba dito yung angiosperm. Okay? So, ang conifers, they have naked seed. So, this is gymnosperm. Ang cycad, ito yung halaman na para siyang palm na maliit. And this is a gymnosperm, so mali din to. Okay? And fern is not a seedless plant. So, tanggal to. Non-seed plant to. Okay? So, the best answer here is tomato. Tomato is a type of berry kasi nasa loob yung ano niya, seed niya. So, it's a flowering plant. So, yung prutas niya would come from the ovary. Next item, we go with item 84. What is the process of water evaporating from the leaves of plants? So, is it respiration, photosynthesis, transpiration, or evaporation? Please type in your answers if you can put it in the chat box. Okay. Just admit them in the Zoom link. Okay, very good. The process is transpiration. So anything na nag-escape yung water or possibly transport of water in the plant, we call it transpiration. Ano ba nangyayari sa transpiration? Basically, you have your stomata. The opening of the stomata are regulated by what we call guard cells. So ito, natanong na to in the previous boards. What regulate the opening of the stomata? That is guard cell. So pagpapasok yung CO2 diyan, may lalabas na water vapor and that is your transpiration. So kapag actually kasi ano yan, ito kunwari ito yung vascular ano natin, yung sa plant, okay? Since may cohesive property and adhesive property yung water natin due to hydrogen bonding, okay? Aakyat yung tubig dyan via capillarity. But actually, meron ding effect yung negative partial pressure resulting to movement of water towards the higher part of the plant. So just in case natanong kayo, paano din move yung water pataas ng plant, the best answer pa rin ay transpiration. Next, let's proceed with item 85. So plants wilt when the rate of letter A, water absorption is faster than transpiration. Okay. Or letter B, transpiration is faster than water absorption. Letter C, photosynthesis is faster than transpiration. Or letter D, transpiration is faster than respiration. So please type in your answers. Okay. Very good. That should be letter B. Kasi, kaya nag-wilt yung plant kasi sobrang bilis ng transpiration mo as compared to the water absorption. You may see this one, F, di ba? Halimbawa, si Miss Jerial, meron siyang halaman. Okay? Tapos, dahil vacant or walang pasok nung City Fiesta, so hindi siya nakapasok. Hindi niya nadiligan. So pagpasok niya ng Tuesday, nakita niya na yung halaman niya, ay, what? Natutuyo na. So, ang gagawin mo lang doon ay basain mo muna ng konti. Huwag mong diligan ng masyado kasi baka mag-rot. Kasi 'di ba ang plant kapag sobra-sobra yung tubig, mabilis mag-rot yung mga ano niya, yung roots niya. Next item, 86. What cell in leaves are specialized for photosynthesis? What are specialized cells for photosynthesis? Brachioid, companion, sclerenchyma, or mesophyll? Okay, please type in your answer for item 86. Okay. So dito, there are different specialized cells. So medyo hati yung sagot nila. C, D, or A. Okay, tignan natin. Okay. So tignan natin yung cheat sheet natin. So we have some specialized cells for plant cells. So we have parenchyma cells. These cells are responsible for storage, photosynthesis, and tissue repair. And we have sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma naman, this is for structural support. So makikita natin to sa mga stem barks and seed coat. Ang guard cells naman, as mentioned, is or are type of cells that would regulate the opening of the stomata. And there are specialized cells in the mesophyll tissue. We call them mesophyll cells. So if you would be asked, saan talaga nangyayari sa leaf ang photosynthesis sa ang type of cells? So ang best answer doon ay letter D, mesophyll. Okay? So, ang sclerenchyma, this is for structural support. Next item, number 87. This is the vascular tissue that conducts water and minerals. Okay? And this is a vascular tissue that conducts food also. So, what vascular tissues are these? So, medyo problematic yung item, but this item is an actual let item. So, ang titignan na lang natin dyan ay, alin ba yung una niyang binanggit? Sabi niya, this is the vascular tissue that conducts water and minerals. So dapat ito muna yung mauna. Pangalawa ay vascular tissue that conduct foods. Okay, very good. The answer is xylem and phloem. So for xylem, xylem conducts water and minerals, and then your phloem conducts nutrients and food or sugar. Okay, very good. 100% tayo na tama. So ano ba yung gagawin nating mnemonics? Actually, ang mnemonics ko dito para madaling tandaan, WXY at saka PHF. 'Di ba? So 'di ba pag WXY, 'di ba? Okay. You have water, xylem. Kapag yung phloem, 'di ba? Pag pronounce mo siya, it sounds like F. So, phloem, food. Ano ba yung food ng plants? These are your sugars and other nutrients. Okay? Next, we go with item 88. What type of root system is found among grass and other low plants? Is it branch, fibrous, top primary? Okay, please type in your answers. Okay. Thank you, Ren, for the participation of Pagapuslan and Salud on our Facebook. Okay, this is our first time to do Facebook Live. Okay, okay. So, let's have a quick review of the root systems. So, ang top roots, as mentioned, these are present in your what? Dicot. And then your fibrous roots are present in your monocots. So sa let, tatanungin din kung ano yung mga examples ng dicot and monocot. So in this case, ang taproots ay may parang pinaka-main ugat ka. And then it would branch out pababa. And then for fibrous root naman, isa or marami siyang system of roots or string of roots. Example of which would be grass, sugar cane, so yung mga family of grasses like bamboo, okay, wheat, corn, those are fibrous roots and they are monocot. Isa pa dito ay yung coconut. For top roots, ito yung mga mango, carrots, okay? Yung onion, ano siya, fibrous root yan, okay? So let's proceed with this item. So what type of root system is found in grass? So nakita na natin kanina, that is your fibrous, letter B. Very good. Letter B ang sagot natin for item 88. Welcome, Miss or Mr. Cyril. Okay. So next item, we have item 89. So which of the following statement is correct? Only roots show negative gravitropism. Letter B, only roots show positive gravitropism. Letter C, both stems and roots show positive gravitropism. And letter D, both stems and roots show negative gravitropism. Please key in your answers for item 89. For Team Online, you just type, please type in the number, let's say 89, then the letter of choice. Like this one. Para kunwari, at least madali nating ma-recognize kung aling item yung sagot natin. Okay? Okay, for Team Zoom, C and D ang sagot. Okay? How about Team Online? Ano yung sagot natin? Okay? So kapag sinabi mo tropism are behavior of plants based on certain stimuli. So yung mga stimuli ng plants, depende sa situation niya. Example, if your stimuli is light, that is phototropism. If your stimuli is, let's say, earth or gravity, you call it geotropism and gravitropism. And then for thigmotropism naman, this is for mechanical barriers. Ito yung mga dadaanan ng plants na, let's say, yung trellis, di ba? Pag nagtanim tayo ng nagbabaging, so, kakapitan niya yon. And then, last but not the least would be hydrotropism. From the name itself, hydro, that pertains to water. Okay? So, ngayon, titignan natin, ano ba yung positive or negative? Pag sinabi mong positive, di ba, meron kang parang loving tendency. Kapag negative naman, you have a fearing tendency. So, you try to avoid them. Example, yung light. Okay? Yung light, ang gusto niya, yung shoot and stem, gusto niya ng sunlight. So most likely, the shoot and stem would likely proceed where the direction or where is the sunlight located. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo yung mga halaman natin na pinapasok natin sa bahay, nag-elongate sila kasi hinahanap nila yung sunlight. So, anything that is attracted to the stimuli, that is positive. Anything that puts it away, that is negative. So, syempre, ang sunlight may kasamang energy. May kasamang heat energy yon. So it can dehydrate the plant. So the root system of plants would have negative phototropism kasi away from sunlight sila. The same with geotropism naman, ang roots natin gusto niya ng water and lupa. So most likely, they would exhibit or the root would exhibit positive gravitropism and positive hydrotropism. So sa tigmotropism, ang tatandaan nyo dito ay physical barrier or anything na physical entity. At yung kumakapit dito na parts ng plant, ang tawag natin doon ay tendrils. So you might be asked in the licensure exam, ano yung mga specialized stem? Okay? Or specialized part of the plant na kumakapit or nag-exhibit ng thigmotropism. So those what we call thigmotropism. So balik tayo sa statement na to, sa item 89. So which of the following statements is correct? Only rows show negative gravitropism. Negative ba siya? Actually, hindi. It should be positive. Next, only roots show positive gravitropism. So this is correct. Ang sabi lang naman niya ay which of the following is correct. So this is the best answer. Okay? Next ay punta tayo sa letter C. Bakit malito? Kasi ang stem, ang tendency niya ay pataas, away from the ground, so that it can reach sunlight. So therefore, mali itong nag-exhibit siya ng positive gravitropism din. Next, letter D, both stems and roots show negative gravitropism. Hindi. Ang nag-show ng positive geotropism ay si roots at si stem naman ay negative. Okay? So, yan, na-correct na natin. The best answer here should be letter D. Okay, let's proceed with item 90. Ayan, ang bilis natin. We're almost halfway done. Name the plant hormone that promotes stem elongation and helps break dormancy of seeds and buds. Letter A, cytokinins. Letter B, abscisic acid. Letter C, gibberellins. Or letter D, florigen. Okay, we have letter A. And how about team Facebook? What's your answer? Okay, most of you answered A. Okay, so let's check. So there are different plant hormones that exhibit the or that affect the behavior of the plants. By the way, paano malalaman ng plant na mamumunga na siya or mamumulaklak na siya? Mayroon tayong tinatawag na photoperiodism. So this might be asked in the licensure exam. Ang photoperiodism ay meron siyang ang plant may tinatawag siyang phytochore at nalalaman niya yung length of day and night. So, syempre, kapag let's say mas matagal na yung sunlight kumpara sa sa nighttime, some plants would start to flower. So you call it photoperiodism. Okay? So for plant hormones, these exhibit or same the same way with our hormone, like we have steroid hormone, we have peptide hormone, 'di ba? So ano ba pag masaya ka, 'di ba? You have serotonin and oxytocin. So sa plants, meron din nag-affect ng growth nila. So you have auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, ethylene, and abscisic acid. Ang lumabas in the previous licensure exams would be auxins, cytokinins, gibberellins, and ethylene. But we would discuss also abscisic acid. Ano ang ginagawa ng auxins? It promotes cell elongation and apical dominance. Ano yung apical dominance? Remember yung plant, pataas yung pag-grow niya, right? So yung pinakadulo, ang tawag mo doon ay apical bud. So yung vertical growth niya would be what we call apical dominance. Pero yung plant, pwede din siya mag-grow vertically. So saan siya mag-grow? Doon sa mga lateral bud. And this lateral bud growth is controlled by cytokinins. And then, yung gibberellins naman, ang titingnan natin dito ay it also helps your auxins to what? To elongate and do cell division. So nakakatulong din siya sa plant growth. At isa pa ay siya yung nagbe-break ng seed dormancy. So pag yung seed natin mag-germinate na siya, ang hormone in charge doon ay yung gibberellins. And you might be asked, ano yung kailangan ng seed para mag-germinate siya? Pag tinanong kayo ng ganong question sa licensure exam, ang sasagot niya ay oxygen gas. Hindi pa niya kailangan ng carbon dioxide kapag mag-grow siya. Kasi meron siyang stored food sa cotyledon niya. Para ma-process yung food na yan, metabolize siya, kailangan mag-take in siya ng oxygen gas muna. So, pag nagkaroon na siya ng sapat na dahon, doon pa lang siya mag-intake ng carbon dioxide. Okay? Ang ethylene gas naman, ang tetandaan lang natin ay nahihinog ang prutas kapag sobrang dami ng ethylene gas. So, di ba, kapag gusto nyong mahinog yung prutas, ang ginagawa natin? Nilalagyan natin ng kalburo. Tama? Yung calcium carbide. Pero yung kalburo na yun, actually, it promotes heat formation. Pero hindi talaga yun yung nagkakos ng ripening per se. It is the accumulation of ethylene gas. And finally, yung abscisic acid, ito, ino-oppose niya yung activity ni auxin, cytokinins, and gibberellins. So it promotes dormancy or inhibit growth. So siyempre, bakit kailangan mag-inhibit yung growth ng plants? Anyone? Kapag in certain cases, like kunwari, nasa US ka, you have a winter season. Pag halimbawa, nasa Pilipinas naman tayo, we have a dry season. So hindi kailangan mag-develop ng maraming leaves ng plant kasi made-dehydrate siya. So ang gagawin niya ay magbabawas siya ng dahon. So that is controlled by abscisic acid. So let's go back to the item 90. Name the plant hormone responsible for stem elongation and helps break dormancy of seeds and bud. So the best answer here is letter C, gibberellins. Okay, so next, let's proceed with item 91. So one who specializes in all kinds of fishes and their characteristics, developing expertise in ichthyology, taxonomy, histology, entomology. Kindly type in your answers. Okay, Miss Jeriel. Prompt yung pagsagot natin. Very good. Okay. So the answer is letter A, correct. Ichthyology. So itong mga to, di ba, ang daming branches of biology. Ang gagawin nyo lang ay, ang pro tip ko ay, huwag niyong aralin ng minsanan. As you go along the way, pasadahan nyo lang sila. And it would give you an ample time to memorize them or to be familiar with them. Ang taxonomy, ito, na-encounter na natin to sa episode 4. This is naming, classifying, and describing organisms. Okay? Ang histology naman, this is study of tissues. Ang entomology ay study of insects. Okay? Let's proceed with item 92. What fact will you select to show that animals and plants share a particular structural design or body plan? Letter A, all plants and animals grow and reproduce. Letter B, all plants and animals respond to their environment. Letter C, all plants and animals have cells organized into tissues and organs. Letter D, all plants and animals acquire energy and exchange gases. Okay, please type in your answer. Okay? So, the best answer dito ay correct. Letter C. All plants have cells organized into tissues and organ. So, sa ano natin, dahil same animals tayo, like we are mammals, so almost similar or they could be some parallel parts in our organ system. And for plant naman, dalawa yung organ system niya. You have the shoot system and the root system. Sa part ng shoot system, kasama dito ang stem and leaves. Okay, thank you Team Online for responding. So next item, 93. Orangutans, chimpanzees, and gorillas are classified as letter A, primates, letter B, predator, letter C, monkey, letter D, chordates. Okay, very good. So ang best answer dito ay, punta na tayo sa order. Primates. So they are more related under order primates. Ang chordates, this is phylum. Doon, magpo-fall pa rin sa phylum chordates, pero mas appropriate ang primates. So, punta tayo sa animal kingdom. Ano bang meron sa animal kingdom? So, animal kingdom is the largest kingdom among all organisms as it constitutes all your plants, all your animals rather. So, we can divide them into phyla. So, dapat familiar kayo sa mga phyla. Kasi in the licensure exam, usually nagbibigay sila ng question na ano yung mga examples dito? Ano yung mga mollusca? Ano yung echinodermata, etc. So kapag mollusca, these are your animals na may shell. Example of which, mollusca. Pero coach, wala namang shell ang octopus at saka squid. In their evolution, originally, meron daw silang mga cephalopods, meron daw silang shell. Pero yung shell na yon, nag-evolve siya to become ink. Kasi ano bang purpose ng shell? Letter P. Anyone? Correct. It's
Protection.
protection. Very good, Kenneth and Juriel. Protection siya. So yung ink, 'di ba, let's say nung octopus at saka ng squid, for protection din siya. And then for spine containing animals, we call them echinodermata. Ang examples nito ay yung sea star, we call it sea star, not starfish. And then we have sea urchin at saka yung sea cucumber. For chordates naman, papasok dito yung mga cartilaginous fish like your shark and then your polar bear. And then for nidarians, ito yung mga jellyfish, sea anemone, and corals. Yung annelida naman, ito yung mga segmented worms. And then we have porifera. Ang porifera, ito yung mga sponges. So these are the common phyla in animal kingdom. Pero marami pa. Okay? So ano ba yung mga primates? Ang primates ay meron silang kamay at saka paa na pang-grasp. So meron din silang large brains relative to their body size as compared to other animals. And then kung titingnan mo yung ano nila, yung mata nila, forward facing siya. Anong purpose ba nito? Bakit nakaharap siya? Para mas in-depth yung perception and navigation nila sa mundo. Examples of primates would be humans, orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, and ano yung nasa Bohol?
Tarsier.
Ano? Very good. The most famous na uh, primate is yung tarsier sa Bohol. Okay? Next, we go with item 94. Which of the following is a vertebrate? Letter A, sea anemone. Letter B, planarian. Letter C, sponge. Letter D, wolf. Okay, thank you, Miss Leia. Yeah, correct, tarsier. Okay, so ayan, sinanimos yung sagot natin. Letter D for this item. Ano bang meron sa vertebrate? So remember, the phylum is chordate. Magkaiba ang chordate sa vertebrates. Umbrella term ang chordates, example ang vertebrates. So ano ba yung chordates? Ang tatandaan nyo sa chordates ay, those are animals that have notochord. So nung nag-grow sila, nagkaroon sila ng notochord. At itong notochord na to can remain as notochord or it can grow as vertebral column. Same with vertebrates. Okay? So yung mga phylum chordates, ito yung lahat ng animals na may notochord at some point. It can sorry, it can remain as notochord or it can develop or be modified in the latter stages of life na vertebral column. Ang vertebrates naman ay sila yung notochord nila naging backbone siya. Naging part siya ng bone or cartilage. So magkaiba yan ha. Chordates yung phylum, okay? Subphylum ang vertebrates. Ito yung example, yung birds, reptiles, you have mammals, you have humans, and fish. Ang fish ay vertebrate din sila. Can be you have class Agnatha or Chondrichthyes, like your bony fish, or your cartilaginous fish, like your shark. Next item, 95. Animals which live on land but return to the water to breathe. Letter A, reptiles. Letter B, amphibians. Letter C, mammals. Or letter D, crustaceans. Okay, very good. The answer is amphibians. So tingnan natin, ano ba yung characteristics ng amphibians and reptiles? So ang amphibians, usually yung early life nila, aquatic sila. And then kapag naging adult sila, terrestrial animals na sila. And then kapag reptiles naman, usually may egg sila. And then pag napisa siya or nag-hatch yung egg, usually parang mini-me version siya ng animal na yon. Next, ang skin nila dry, wait lang, parang baliktad. Sorry, I think baliktad ito. Let me just correct it. Ang dry and scaly ay sa reptiles. Ang moist and permeable ay sa amphibians. So please, let's correct this one. So mapapansin nyo naman yung frogs, newts, salamanders, okay? Usually, what? Moist and permeable yung skin nila. For reptiles, usually dry and scaly. Like your snake, crocodile, alligators, turtles, and lizards. Kapag ang respiration ng amphibians naman ay through skin, gills, or lungs. Kapag reptiles, throughout their lungs. All throughout their life, they use their lungs. At eto, tinanong to sa Let, alin sa mga animals daw na ito ang hindi gumagamit ng hard shell? So ang sasagot natin doon ay yung amphibian na frog. Kasi they have soft jelly-like eggs in water. While your reptiles have what? They have hard shell, possibly made of calcium carbonate. Okay? Next, we proceed with item 96. So last 5 items na lang tayo. The Nidarians, like the starfishes and hydra, possess an organ for protection. What is this organ and how does it defend the Nidarians from their enemies? Actually, mali itong example niya, but this is an actual let item. Pag Nidarians, ano dapat itong mga to? Jellyfish. Okay? So, letter A, nematocysts, they contain cysts, speculas, sharp bones. Letter C, nematocysts contain poison. Letter D, nematocysts, sharp edges. Okay, please type in your answers. Okay, very good. Nematocysts, they contain poison. Poison yon kasi ang poison ay any chemicals na pag na-intake mo siya, it can be what? It can be detrimental in our motion, we can be paralyzed, or it can be fatal. Ang venom naman ay a chemical that is secreted by animals kapag nag-bite sila sa atin. Example of which would be sa snake. Diba? Yung sa snake, we call it venom kasi mapupunta lang siya sa atin if may animal biting na mangyayari. Next item, 97. Which stages of incomplete metamorphism are undergone by the grasshoppers? Letter A, egg, pupa, adult. Letter B, egg, nymph, adult. Letter C, egg, larva, pupa, adult. Or letter D, nymph, pupa, adult. Okay, magkakaiba yung sagot natin. B and D. How about Team Online? Yung Team Facebook natin. Okay, so let's see ano ba yung meron sa metamorphism. Tandaan natin, ang metamorphism, hindi lang siya sa earth science na development of rocks based on what? Based on chemical reactions, right? Chemical changes of rocks without melting and or without melting. So metamorphism in animals can be of two classes. It can be complete or incomplete. So complete, holometabolism. Kapag incomplete, hemimetabolism. Kapag complete, apat yung stages niya. Egg, larva, pupa, adult. So kakain muna siya, magiging predatory muna siya ng leaf. So may question kasi sa let, sabi niya, ano daw relationship ng caterpillar and leaf? Ang sagot doon ay predation. Okay? So ang best examples ng complete metamorphism would be butterfly, moth, flies, and beetles. Kapag incomplete naman, egg siya, then mini-me version, yung nymph. Then afterwards, it would become adult. So wala siyang dadaanan na larva and pupal stage. So ang example nito would be grasshopper, cockroach, ito yung favorite natin, okay, and termites. So let's go back to item 97. So which of the following stages of incomplete metamorphism are undergone by grasshopper? So ang best answer dito ay letter B. Okay, very good. All of you got it correct. So let's proceed with item 99. 98 rather. So among the following animals in the class mammalian, which are categorized as carnivora? Elephants, pigs, monkeys, cats. Please type in your answer for item 98. Okay, very good. The answer is letter D, cats. So animals can be classified based on their feeding patterns. Okay? Kapag herbivores, ibig sabihin nito, primary consumer sila. So they eat only plants. Or sometimes they eat planktons, phytoplanktons. Okay? Ang carnivores naman, they are secondary or sometimes up to quaternary consumers. So kadalasan they are predators in Yun yung function nila. Okay? So they eat meat only or possibly they can be obligate or facultative. Anong pinagkaiba niyan? So kapag obligate, meat lang talaga ang kakainin nila. Kapag facultative, pag wala silang meat source, they can go for insects or sometimes plants. Kasya facultative, they can adjust. Kapag obligate, as is, like your family of cats. Next would be omnivores. Ang omnivores ay they can eat meat or they can eat insects and they can eat plants. May question sa boards dati, ang tanong ay ganito, sabi niya, cows eat grass or cows and humans eat plants rather, sabi niya. Uh, if cows are herbivores, humans are, ang sasagot pa rin natin doon ay omnivores sila. So ang tayo as humans, we are omnivores. We are not carnivores. Ang last but not the least would be detritivores. Ano ang detritivores? Remember, these animals can die. So someone should recycle the nutrients. So sino magre-recycle ng nutrients? Your detritivores, like your earthworm. But remember, hindi lang animals like earthworm ang detritivores. Other organisms under the kingdom fungi and bacteria, they can also act as detritivores. So for this item number 98, ang elephants, herbivores ito. Ang pigs ay omnivores. Ang monkeys ay what? Anyone? What do you think our monkeys are? Omnivores, herbivores, carnivores. So, isipin natin herbivore siya, di ba? Kasi puro banana kinakain. Pero, in certain cases, kumakain din sila ng insects. So, they should be classified as omnivores. Okay, punta na tayo sa second to the last item. So we're done with the eating pattern. Punta naman tayo sa type of reproduction of animals. What is modified form of sexual reproduction seen among bees in which unfertilized eggs may develop into a complete individual? Letter A, hermaphroditism. Letter B, parthenogenesis. Letter C, budding. Letter D, regeneration. Okay, please type in your answer for item 99. So the egg is fertilized without what? Without mating. So ang best answer dito, very good. We call it correct. Letter B, parthenogenesis. Ano ba yung mga type of reproduction sa animals? First one is sexual. Pag sinabi mong sexual, it's the meeting of the egg or ovum and sperm cell. So if you would be asking the boards, what do you call the process when a sperm cell meets with an ovum? Ang sagot doon ay fertilization. At itong fertilization na to can be done in what? In vitro process. Ibig sabihin, gagawin mo siya sa glassware. At anong klaseng glassware ang ginagamit for in vitro fertilization? Okay, can you type in? Anong glassware yon? Petri dish. Okay, very good. Jeriel, Petri dish. Pero ang tawag sa IVF ay ano? Anong tawag natin sa IVF? Test tube baby. Okay? Test tube baby ang tawag natin, pero sa Petri dish siya ginagawa. So ano ba yung mga asexual reproduction in certain organisms? Binary fission, ito common to sa bacteria and amoeba. Hindi nagmamitosis, hindi nagmemeiosis ang mga bacteria. Binary fission lang. Ito yung magpaparami sila ng nutrients, lalaki yung cell, and then magdi-divide siya into two adult cells. Ang fragmentation, makikita to sa Spirogyra. Okay? Pwede din tong ang budding naman, ang budding ay you have a matured animal like hydra, tapos may tutubo lang na maliit na parang polyp. And then makakat ito and then it would grow into another hydra. Next would be, ito tinanong ko sa let, ano daw ang process for reproduction ng sea star and planaria? The answer is regeneration. Pag sinabi mong regeneration, and example, ito naputol siya, mag-grow siya ulit ng tatlo na fingers. The same with this one, pag naputol to, mag-grow siya ng dalawang fingers to become sea star. So magiging adult sea stars ulit yung mga yun. And then we have vegetative propagation in plants. So example of which, tissue culture, grafting, at saka what? Yung pagkakat ng kamote tops. Okay? Di ba yung kamote, pag kinat mo yung stem niya, itutuhog mo lang yan, tutubo siya ulit. So, that is vegetative propagation. So ano ulit ng tawag natin doon? It's almost similar to, anong tawag natin sa process ng tissue culture? It's a type of cloning. Cloning yung process niya kasi gumagawa ka ng similar genetic makeup na organism. And last but not the least would be parthenogenesis. This has been observed in bees, wasps, ants, and some reptiles. Like sa recent news yung snake. Yung snake wala siyang makitang kapartner. Uh, Hindi siya nag-mate pero nagkaroon siya ng egg na fertilize. Pero hindi siya na-hatch yung egg na yung hindi na-hatch yung mga egg na yun. Bakit bakit mag-fertilize sila ng kusa or magde-develop sila into uh, organism, a baby organism? The reason is that kasi gusto natin mag-mate sila para tumaas yung genetic diversity. But in certain instances kasi na walang lalaki na present. So, ang tendency ng animals ay i-preserve yung linya nila, yung lineage nila. So, what they do is they would hatch a egg na magde-develop to become an organism like your bees or ants para may magtuloy ng generation nila. Ang problem lang doon ay walang genetic diversity na mapuproduce. And last item would be budding, fragmentation, fission, and regeneration are examples of letter A, asexual, letter B, sexual, letter C, hybrid, or letter D, external. Okay, so what's your answer for the last item? Correct. The answer is asexual reproduction. By the way, baka itanong kayo sa corals, paano yung mechanism of reproduction niya? Dalawa, sexual siya, so they can undergo fertilization, or they can do budding. Corals are animals, ah. Okay. They're under class, or they're under phylum Nitaria. And that's all for tonight. And we're done with our catch-up review for plant and animal biology. Again, I'm Coach Richard, and I thank you for giving your time, sharing your time with me as we prepare for your licensure exam.